Breaking news on this Monday. Just moments ago, NBC News learned that the White House is talking about a trip for President Biden to visit Europe. That's according to 3 U.S. officials and 2 people familiar with the discussions. Let's get right to NBC's Mike Memoli with more. Mike, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, Craig, this is new reporting from Carol Lee, Josh Letterman, and myself. We've been watching President Biden largely handle this Ukraine crisis over the last 3 months from Washington or Camp David, as he was this weekend, his home in Wilmington, doing a lot of telephone diplomacy as well as welcoming some foreign leaders to the White House. But now we're learning that the White House is in discussions to have President Biden make a trip, potentially as soon as in the next few weeks, to Europe, as part of an effort to further engage with our allies and show solidarity with our NATO allies at this critical moment. We know it's been the Vice President, Kamala Harris, who has been logging a lot of miles on Air Force Two, making 2 separate trips to Europe just in the last month. Most recently last week when we saw her in Poland, right there on the border of Ukraine, as well as to Romania, with 2 of our key NATO allies who have a lot of concerns about what they're seeing on the part of Russia as it makes this invasion. But we don't have a final decision yet about this travel. Obviously, there are a lot of complications, a lot of decisions that would go into making this decision. But some of those very officials who were part of helping with the vice president's trip to Eastern Europe last week have stayed behind in anticipation of a potential visit. We've reached out to the White House officially. We have not received any comment yet, Craig, but we'll follow up, obviously, as we hear more about this.
Mike, do we know at this point, and again, I know it's early, but do we know perhaps what part of Europe the president would visit?
One of the locations under discussion is Brussels, which is obviously important because it's both the seat of NATO as well as the European Union. So much of what the president has been doing has been trying to align U.S. actions with our NATO allies at this point, trying to show that unity in the face of Russia. But also there might be other stops as well. The president has made 2 trips to Europe already in his time in office, including to Brussels last summer when he had a meeting with NATO allies, as well as the G7 meeting in England and a meeting in the G20 meeting in Rome. But the president hasn't traveled yet since. There are other summits on the calendar, but not for several months. And so this just shows the urgency of the moment that the White House is considering having him get there even sooner.